In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins shares transformative insights into the power of deliberate self talk, illustrating how what we say to ourselves every morning can reprogram our minds, elevate our moods, and set the tone for a positive and productive day. Drawing from neuroscience, psychology, and her personal journey overcoming anxiety and negativity, Mel reveals 8 impactful mantras to cultivate resilience, optimism, and self-compassion. Mel begins by emphasizing the profound influence of morning thoughts on the entire day. Citing expert researchers like psychiatrist Dr. Daniel Amen and neuroscientist Dr. Jim Doty, she highlights how the brain operates like a filter, selectively processing information based on what it perceives as important. This filtering system, known as the reticular activating system, magnifies whatever we repeatedly focus on or declare as significant. When we begin each day with positive affirmations, we activate this filter to seek out opportunities, joys, and strengths instead of defaulting to negativity and worry. One crucial observation Mel makes is that if we do not consciously program our minds with hope and empowerment, our brains will continue to absorb negative inputs from past experiences, societal pressures, or inner critical voices, perpetuating cycles of anxiety and self-doubt. This is why taking intentional control of morning self-talk is fundamental. Mel also explains the physiological underpinnings of morning anxiety through what scientists call the cortisol awakening response, a surge in the stress hormone designed to prepare us for the day. For those prone to worry, this biological process can feel overwhelming, triggering racing thoughts and dread even before the day begins. Affirmations help intercept these harmful thought patterns and recalibrate the brain's response. A recurring theme in the episode is the skill of maintaining a good mood without an external trigger. Mel asserts that society has conditioned many of us to slip easily into negativity or anxiety without cause, but the opposite is equally trainable. She urges listeners to develop the ability to wake up in a good mood for no reason, fostering a baseline optimism that persists despite challenging circumstances. This is key to emotional resilience. Mel draws from lessons shared by Dr. Paul Conti, a Stanford-trained psychiatrist, about the detriment of negative self-talk and its role in undermining self-esteem and reinforcing anxious states. She encourages replacing habitual criticisms with mantras that cultivate self-kindness, confidence, and acceptance of being a work in progress. While Mel presents 8 specific morning declarations, she weaves them into a holistic mindset designed to help anyone navigate the highs and lows of life with grace. The first affirmation, "Today is going to be a great day," is simple but potent. It sets a positive intention and helps the brain seek evidence to support that outlook, even in difficult times. Mel recounts a relatable example from her own life, where a brief text exchange centered on this phrase sparked optimism and a sense of control over the day. The following affirmation, "Something cool is going to happen for me today," shifts the brain's focus toward anticipation and curiosity. By expecting unexpected good things, listeners can transform their day into an adventure rather than a source of dread. This mindset primes the brain to recognize and appreciate moments of joy and connection, whether bumping into an old friend or receiving a surprising message. "No matter what happens today, I can handle it," is a particularly powerful anchor for those prone to anxiety or worry. This sentence rewires the subconscious belief that one is incapable of facing difficulties and replaces it with reassurance and courage. Mel elucidates how this phrase combats the paralysis of worry by asserting personal strength and resilience ahead of uncertainties. Mel's fourth mantra, "An exciting new chapter in my life is starting today," invites listeners to embrace change and fresh beginnings. By mentally framing each day as an opportunity to write a new story, individuals become motivated to take small but meaningful actions toward growth, be it reconnecting with a friend, embarking on a new habit, or reframing perspectives. The affirmation, "I need to give myself more credit for how hard I'm trying," encourages self-compassion over constant self-criticism. Mel details how we often fixate on minor missteps or unmet expectations rather than acknowledging consistent effort, which can be demoralizing. Recognizing our perseverance fuels continued momentum and reduces burnout. The sixth sentence, "I'm allowed to be a work in progress," grants permission to embrace imperfection and ongoing growth. Mel shares personal anecdotes about how she still struggles with mistakes, yet chooses to view her life and projects as evolving journeys. This mindset reduces pressure, encourages learning, and fosters patience in the face of setbacks. "If I keep showing up, life will reward me," by Mel's account, is a mantra of perseverance and hope. Celebrating the power of persistence, this phrase affirms that success is often a result of continued effort rather than immediate results. It reminds listeners that even when progress seems slow, the simple act of consistently showing up accumulates toward meaningful outcomes. Finally, Mel's favorite and deeply affirming sentence, "I have an important contribution to make to the world," addresses the universal need for purpose and belonging. This statement nurtures self-worth and motivates individuals to share their unique gifts, energy, and kindness with others. Mel reminds listeners that every person is one of a kind and that their presence, attitude, and actions ripple outward, making a difference. Mel stresses that adopting these affirmations is not a one-time fix, but a practice requiring consistency. She suggests committing to saying these sentences every morning, out loud if possible, or at least mentally, and even writing them down to engage more senses and reinforce the programming. Doing this for 30 to 60 days can help rewire thought patterns entrenched over a lifetime of negative conditioning. Mel encourages patience with oneself throughout this process, acknowledging that reprogramming takes time and effort. However, the payoff is transformative: increased positivity, reduced anxiety, improved decision-making, and a greater ability to navigate life's challenges calmly. Throughout the episode, Mel emphasizes the importance of treating oneself with the same kindness and admiration that one might extend to a close friend. She closes with a heartfelt reminder that love is simple, rooted in consideration and appreciation, and that by affirming these empowering beliefs, listeners are essentially practicing self-love. This internal support system is foundational to sustaining mental well-being and achieving personal goals.